than 60 years, not 100 years. 100 years, I think only 2 organizations have survived. And where we have been an innovator. IBM is known for bringing out technology and innovation. So, how many of you hold a mobile phone in your hands? I think that's a stupid question, right? Okay, in this age, right? Now, let me if I tell you the backbone of all of the networks that are running in India, whether it is Vodafone or Airtel or Reliance or right, even BSNL. IBM is the technology provider for all of them. Okay, okay. And the second stupid question could be, how many of you have an ATM card with you? Right, all of us, right? All of us have that. Okay, so thanks for raising the hands. And the ATM that you see, you go to by default go there and withdraw cash from there, right? And do a lot of other operations as well. That itself has been brought in by IBM. The concept, the technology behind ATMs, that has been brought in by IBM. Okay. You talk about camera sensor technology, again IBM plays a role. Whether you talk about NASA sending a Mars rover and the Mars rover running in Mars and sending out data to the Earth, again IBM power chip is playing a role there. Okay. Whether we talk about the Fortune 500 companies, which is the largest organizations in the world, the top 500 organizations, 495 of them use IBM technology. So that is what IBM is famous for. Of course, you don't see IBM as a phone or a laptop or a product as an end user product, but the behind the screen, the operations that are being done, IBM is the player there. Okay. Now, telecom we have spoken about. We have spoken about other industries like atomic industries or space research. We also work in other domain areas, whether it is oil and gas sector, that is excavating oil from various mines, fields. And you talk about insurance industry, e-commerce is another player, right? Another area which is like gigantic now. And IBM technology is being used there as well. So now let me actually show you a very well-known brand here, right? So every one of us has this logo in our mobile phones, right? And whenever we feel hungry, wherever we are, we can click on a button and we get a food that is served to us, whatever we want to, right? And do you know how many restaurants Swiggy owns? Anybody? 0. Yeah, that's the right answer. They don't own any restaurants. Okay, they don't own all of these headaches of preparing food and giving it to you, right? They just own the concept. They are just the innovator of this concept, the idea, right? Whether it is Zomato or Swiggy, they're all owning the idea. And this idea, of course, it's so handy for all of us, right? By just pressing a couple of buttons, you get food served at your table. However, this idea is actually creating so much revenue, you would not believe it. Let me show it to you. Okay, it's about, they're actually doing about 40 billion transactions year on year. 40 billion transactions. That's the kind of business they're turning out. It's a small app, right? That's the innovation that I'm talking about. That's the reason I'm here to talk to you, all of you. Because young minds, all of you, are kind of, you are kind of challenging the status quo. Okay, you should not be looking at whatever has been running in the last 10 years, 15 years. That is what the life is all about. No, you are here to challenge the status quo. That is how innovation happens. Okay, in the next 4 years, I would in fact encourage each one of you to spend your maximum time. Of course, learning is happening in the classroom, but maximum time bringing out technology solutions, bringing out solutions which are not thought about earlier. Okay, that is exactly what you should be focusing on, and that's where the money is on. Okay, don't look at jobs. Jobs will come. You are at a beautiful university, well-known university. Okay, jobs will come to you, but think beyond jobs. Create jobs actually. Okay, so create a business which is going to last forever. Swiggy did that, Zomato did that. Okay, now they are present in over 70 cities in India. They are actually bringing in revenue and business to many other businesses. Okay, one is of course the small time restaurant owners who get a market now to serve, and the second is they are also serving so many other. Can I now? I'll leave it to you to guess which other businesses they are serving now, apart from the food business. Anybody else? Yeah. Huh? Delivery boys, yes, absolutely right. They are getting an earning. All of these thousands of delivery boys and girls, they are making an earning now, right? That's a great answer. Thank you so much, dear. Anybody else? That's one. Employment. They have created employment now, right? Anybody else? Just think. Yeah. Text. T-shirts, the uniform that they wear, right? Yeah, indeed, that's a great answer. I never thought of that. Yes, textile industry. Yes, dear. Automobile, yeah, that's what I was coming to. All of these delivery boys and girls are actually having a bike in their hands, right? And those are actually bought by Swiggy and Zomato and issued to these guys. So that means that automobile industry has also created a lot of business due to this. Every city, imagine, right? That's a big business. Yes, anybody else? Yeah. Petrol, yes, that's a good answer indeed. Because everywhere there is the service providers, they are all running around. So that means there is a oil and gas industry is also getting benefited out of this, right? There is some business happening there as well, and volumes of business, of course. Anybody else? Telecom industry, yes, the data is being used by consumers. They're buying data, more data, so that they can actually browse through all those areas, or sorry, the options menus, right? And then buy. Absolutely right. Telecom industry is getting some money, right? Website developer. Can you elaborate? Correct. So there are developers there in their organization who are, yes, indeed, that's a good answer. Yes. So those guys, those technical guys are also getting benefited. Yes. There is one more bigger one, chunk, which is missing piece. Anybody? There's a bigger piece now, which is missing. Restaurant supplies, of course, they are the major benefiters, because till now only they were waiting for somebody to visit their restaurants and buy food, right? Now they can expand and serve many others who actually maybe even shying away from visiting those restaurants because they are very small. People might even shy away from visiting them, but now they can order and get benefited. Yes, but oh yes, that the entire supply chain you are talking about. Yes. So the veggies suppliers, maybe the cooking gas suppliers, right? All of these are certainly, you are right. That's one. Yes. Customers, of course, our stomachs are growing, right? No, I'm talking about something big, a bigger piece. You are right. Yes. Huh? Time saving, of course, the customers are getting benefited. Yes. However, there is one more bigger piece. Financial. Packing material, yes, that business is also growing. Financials, talk about financials. You don't get food free, right? Transactions, okay? So your credit cards, the PayPal, the payment systems that you have, right? Okay, Google Pay or whatever, right? You have. All of them are making money. So much. When we talk about 40 billion, that means all of the 40 billion, except for those cash deliveries, rest all the transaction is happening through these systems, right? Whether it's credit card, debit card, online banking, or your payment gateways, right? They're all minting money. That's a big chunk, right? So imagine one single idea, a small idea of providing food at your tabletop has created so many businesses. So that is exactly what I'm looking at here from all of you. Just bring out that thought process. What is missing in the piece? Your daily life, you can actually see so many things that are missing. You can create an idea and make business out of it. Let me give you one more example. Delhi, about I think 4-5 years back, they brought out this idea of, because there is a lot of traffic, okay? So we would have a odd and even system. Have you heard of this? right? Only odd numbers will drive on one particular day, and the next day even number cars or vehicles will be driving, right? So that idea came in from the state government, and people tried actually following them. But then the problem was that people who wanted to commute every day, they had an issue because they didn't have two vehicles, right? They have to actually hop on to something else. So there was a young kid, okay? He was just studying in his 10th standard, okay? He's not even a graduate. 10th standard student. He actually created an app in Delhi, and I know because he's my friend's son. He created an app which is basically one can download and then register yourself there, and you can actually create your starting point and end point where you travel every day. So people who travel at the same location, you register your vehicle also, so you can actually come together. So 3 or 4 of you guys can come together and travel together. So that way, one, of course, you're solving that problem of odd and even. Second, it's also saving fuel for people, right? So that was an amazing app, and he got even the CM's award for that, and he even got recognition by Microsoft for creating that app. Okay, so imagine, this is very simple. He created that app, and that became very popular because that was a problem, and he found a solution for that problem, right? I'll tell you, there are some students in university called Kaziranga University in Northeast in Assam. Okay, Kaziranga is more famous for what? Rhino, right? National Park and rhinos. The one-horned rhino, which is nowhere else found. It's only found there. And there is a university there in Kaziranga University. And there, the students who are in their 3rd year and 4th year, they were studying artificial intelligence and machine learning and IoT, which is the Internet of Things. And they have, because Kaziranga is also, Assam is also known for tea gardens, right, all over. So the tea gardens, if you have ever visited a tea garden, these are all acres and acres of land, right, green land, and maintaining that, it's a big headache. Okay, you have to have people running around, looking at the plants, the soil moisture level, whether there is any bug which has infested it, right? So you have to have people always on the move, and if one plant get infested, it actually spoils the entire crop. Okay, so it's even more important for you to be alert. So these students actually created an app. Okay, it's a kind of an hovercraft kind of an app. Okay, where it had sensors, it also had IoT sensors, it also had AI built into it. Okay, completely controllable, it's thing, and that used to actually you can fly it around the entire tea estate, and it will bring back data to you. And wherever there is a let's say moisture level going down, whatever is required, and it is below that level, then it will report that this is the section where you need to maybe sprinkle some water, or maybe the soil level is not the right condition. Okay, or if there is a bug infest happening, can I even pinpoint that plant where it has been the bug has been infested with. So that was the solution brought in by students, and they are making money now. They have still not graduated, and for every one equipment, all the tea gardens need such things, right? And they sell it about 45,000 rupees per such equipment, and it costs about 7,000 to 8,000 for them to make it. Okay, and they are selling it at 45,000 rupees, and they are making money out of it. So these are all ideas I'm just giving to you. You have to again think locally and also globally. But if you can look around, there will be some issues and problems that you can find a solution for, right? And technology is there to help you, okay, mind you. So this we have already covered, let me skip. And IBM has been, in fact, working very closely with universities for over 7 decades now. And IBM is also known for our research capabilities like patents. Last 28 years, IBM has been the largest patent holders, new patent holders, every year, okay? Worldwide, across all industries, IBM brings in the largest new patents every year, right? So that is the reason we also encourage people, especially students and faculty members in universities, to come out with research, come out with new ideas and patents, okay? Now this is something that I wanted to share with all of you. You are all getting into an area which is mostly sought after in the industry, computer science. Okay, and you are also not only looking at gone are the days when let me tell you, about 30 years back when I joined the industry, uh, there used to be an IT department which used to be a closed door thing, and people were never used to allowed to get into that. But now IT is present in every industry. Whether you talk about automobile industry, we spoke about insurance, e-commerce, everywhere you think of industry, IT is healthcare. Operations are being done by automated systems now. Okay, legal battles are being won by some of these cognitive applications. Okay, so IT is present in everywhere you can think of. So you guys are going to be a backbone for any industry that you join. It need not be an IT industry. Okay, you can actually create solution for any industry. Okay, so that is the reason you can see that the low skill job roles are actually going away from the market now. So if you are looking at creating jobs or applying for jobs, the low skills are no longer required. That is, plain vanilla computer science graduates are no longer required in the industry. The people who are required now are high skilled. That is, somebody who has technology skills, at least one technology skills. Okay, that they are the ones who are highly required from the industry point of view. Okay, so these are, again, if you look at it, this is again data from World Economic Forum. Okay, where it talks about in the next couple of years, okay, what are the kind of new roles which are getting created in the industry, and what are the kind of roles which are now redundant. We don't need these roles now anymore in the industry. So that is the kind of change which is happening. Okay, about, let's say, about 30 years back, again, I'm just jumping years now, where there used to be manual camera. Kodak used to be one of the most famous camera manufacturer. Okay, they also had camera films, and they made money like millions. Okay, but then suddenly they lost out the business. Because they did not innovate. They did not see the digital wave coming, and they held on to their business model and they collapsed. Okay, there are many such examples. Okay, so all of us have to be aware that if the technology is asking for it, we are actually seeing new roles getting created. Let's not focus on the redundant roles. Okay, so again, let us look at what are the new technologies that we are talking about. Right, you would have heard about some of these names, some of these technology terms, whether it is artificial intelligence and machine learning, data science, cloud computing, right, or Internet of Things, cyber security, right. Okay, if I can tell you, I think I'm meeting all of you for the first time, right. Okay, if I can tell you that all of you have used at least one of these technologies, I can just vouch for it. You have all used at least one or two maybe of these technologies already. You are the users now. So can you, anybody guess? Yes. Alexa for AI, yes. Cloud computing, yes. Indeed, very good, very nice answers. Thank you. Anybody else want to volunteer? No? Megha. Okay, for cloud. Okay. Yes, sir. GPay, yeah, all those electronic transactions that you do, there is a cyber security which is implemented. Yes, very good answer. Thank you. Yep. Actually, that is what. Yeah, we are all gamers, right? My phone has so many games, right? And those are all online games. And so gaming technology, let me also elaborate. You're absolutely right. But nowadays, gaming technology is not only used for creating games, but gaming technology is being used for creating applications, business applications. AR, VR is coming into play. Okay. So where you're talking about augmented reality, virtual reality. For example, banks, some of the large banks, when they get people into their organization, the training that they do, earlier it used to be like this, right? Somebody will come, stand, and then train the people, right? And then somebody is joining the banks. But nowadays it's all AR, VR systems. So people will just wear that and they will actually go through a entire banking model. So how a teller system works, how a back-end operations like home loan. If somebody comes and applies for a home loan, what are the processes that needs to be completed? It's all completely virtual reality for them. So the forms will also be filled virtually, okay? And the processes, the approval process, all of those will be done virtually, right? So that's all have been creating using gaming technology, okay? Now, anybody else? That's a good idea. Yeah, good answer. Yeah. Any other? Blockchain for crypto transactions. Correct. Yes. True. AI for sensors. Okay. Yes. So sensors. Where do you use sensors? Any couple of examples? Opening the door. Yes. Or locking, unlocking mobile phones or any other device. Yeah. And then something important, a sensor. Why should we use a sensor for? Facial recognition, or maybe, for example, a car, let's say, okay? In a car, you have so many sensors. You would have noticed one is, of course, for the seat belt and door and all, which you notice. But then there are sensors, for example, brake engine failure. There is a sensor which is there, which does not blink when the brake has failed. It will blink before the brake is failing. That is where the sensor is required. It predicts that the brake engine is going to fail, and will alert the driver that in the next couple of hours or next 15 minutes or something, it will fail, and the nearest service station is here. So should I book your appointment for you? That's how the sensor should be working. Not just alerting the door is opening or not, right? That's okay. That's a simple thing, right? But this is where sensors are being used. For example, driverless cars. Anybody heard about it? Right? Tesla, right? Now Tesla uses, the entire car is all sensors, right? It automatically drives on its own. It senses there are other drivers on the road, right? So that's what it is. And sensors are used in every other things that at our homes, like whether it's a microwave oven or it's refrigerators or our television systems, right? All of them, or people said Alexa, right? So that is one thing. So when we talk about these things, technologies, we are talking about these technologies playing a major role in our lives now, okay? Social media platform, how did you all forget about social media? You're all there, right? You're born with social media platforms, right? Now, that's all using what? AI, cloud, data science, cyber security, all of these technologies are being used in social media. Whether you talk about Insta or FB or WhatsApp, right? All of these are using social media platforms. AI and data science technologies. Okay? So, because when you post something, when it actually highlights your posts to people who are like-minded. Okay, it doesn't go, your FB post don't go to all your friends. You know that? It doesn't go to all your friends. If you have 500 friends, it doesn't go to all the 500 friends. It just goes to the selective friends who are like-minded or who are influencers. Okay, and that is how it is all designed now. Okay, even Google, for that matter, search engine. The search engine works in a way that it is designed with the principle of AI. Okay, that is, when you are searching, it automatically identifies your search mechanism, and then shows up the top 20 listing is most important. Have you ever gone to the 6th page of the search? No, right? It's very rare that you go to the 6th page or 10th page, right? But however, it shows 20,000 pages of search results found, right? But you actually search only the top 2 pages maximum, and that is all designed using algorithms. Okay, and people pay for it. If I want to get my listing in the top 2 pages, 3 pages, I will pay to Google to get my listing on the top. Okay, so it's all done using AI, data science, and it also uses cloud computing in a big way because it's all on the cloud, right? All your work is all on the cloud. So this is what the business is all about in all of these technologies. Let me also show you this very interesting chart. You can actually go and Google it on the internet. I have this data since 2010. So it actually depicts what do we do on the internet every minute. 60 seconds. What is the world doing on the internet every 60 seconds? This is what it talks about. So you can see that almost like 4 million search queries on Google alone. 60 seconds. Can you believe? While we are talking, in the last 10 minutes, I don't know how many 40 million search have happened already on Google, right? There are almost like YouTube watchers, 4.7 million YouTube watch. 1.1 million people have shopped. $1.1 million online shopping has happened every minute, every 60 seconds. Okay. There is also a very interesting data, which is at the bottom. I don't know if it is visible there. 190 million emails are sent every minute. So imagine the kind of data getting created. There may be a lot of junk data also on social media and things like that. But I'm saying so much of information which can be researched out, mined, okay, and knowledge can be brought out of that. And that is exactly what businesses are looking at. That's why people are putting all their money, businesses are putting their money, getting people like all of you to in their organizations so that you can do that mining for them, create those tools and technologies so that they can get the right data. Okay. For example, if I want to know how many in say, for example, here in Gandhinagar, how many users or people would want to have a bike, red color bike or a blue color bike, whatever. I want to actually have this data. I can do it through social media platform by pressing a couple of buttons. That's it. I don't have to run a survey for this. Okay? The data is all over the place. I can just mine it and bring it out. How many people like vanilla ice cream more than chocolate ice cream? So that I position my product accordingly. I don't want to manufacture vanilla ice cream more when the chocolate is in more demand, right? Okay. So I will do that research. I will do that mining on the data, social media data, and I will get it because every time I, let's say, if I as friends we go out or for an ice cream parlor or something, we post it on, right? Saying that okay, we were there and we took a picture and then we post it there, right? On the media, or we visit a place and then we again go and click our pictures and post it there. These are all data for you. These are all individual data, but collectively it becomes a business data. Okay. So while we all do this as if thinking that it's my page, it's my data. However, it is actually being used by organizations to enrich their products and services. Okay, and position them accordingly. So a particular product which is being manufactured by an organization may not fit into all the cities, all the cycles. They will actually align it to those locations where it will sell, right? They will not try to sell it in every location, every city. Okay, depending upon the likes and dislikes, they will position their products. So again, analytics has many variants. Okay, you can think of analytics when, for example, in a sports match. Yesterday, how many of you watched that IPL, exciting IPL match, right? In the last over, it just turned the tables, right? Okay. So IPL or any other sports for that matter, actually a lot of data is used. A lot of analytics is used. Okay. The coach, the captain, the back-end operations team, they're all actually working on data and analytics. And they analyze on all of these. Descriptive analytics, like today they might be actually working on what happened yesterday. Why did we fail? Okay, why could not we win this match? And when 99% of the population were thinking that this team is going to win and we lost, right? So they will be doing that today. They also do diagnostic analytics. Okay, if this action is taken, what will be the reaction? Okay, what will be the repercussion? So that is diagnostic analytics. Then you have predictive analytics. Then you have prescriptive analytics, which is the coach is using, right? They will be prescribing. Okay, first 2 overs this bowler, because the batsman is left-handed batsman, so we should have this bowler bowling. So all that, and pitch, what kind of pitch it is, what's the moisture level of the pitch, what's the climate condition, right? Where are we playing, which city we are playing. All that makes your analytics and your results of that analytics coming into handy, right? So these are all, and in any industry for that matter, whether it is, have you ever wondered when you go into a shopping mall, okay, or a shopping floor, you would see lot of products being positioned there, right? You would have gone there to buy only one product, but you end up buying at least minimum 2 or 3 when you come out of the shopping mall, right? So why? Because it's all product positioning, okay, and aligning to what our thought process are, and that's all analytics, okay. So similarly, if you look at artificial intelligence, it plays a role in fashion designing also, okay. Fashion designers use AI in a big way now. Of course, their creativity is very important, but then they also use this AI to actually help them. For example, a bright colored, let's say, clothing might not suit the South Asian conditions, okay. It might not sell well. Maybe there might be few takers, but it will not sell well. Okay, this is a very common known thing, but actually prints, for example, some of the prints might not sell in this region. Some of the prints which are hugely sold in Western regions, right? So these are some of, or even clothing pattern for that matter, the texture, the level of clothing. All of these are AIs now supporting the designers now to help them in creating the right design for the right location. Similarly, if you look at artificial intelligence and deep learning, you can look at how the demand versus supply is there, okay. So everyone else is getting knowledge on Java, okay. Everyone knows Java, so that means the demand is not that much. The demand is more for people with skills in AI or deep learning. So that means your business will grow in that side if you have those skills, or your demand, you can demand more if you are in that side of the scale, okay. So that is why it's important for you to find out where is the demand more, so that I can actually put my best in that area. Cloud computing, again, I don't have to talk much about it. It's already a well-known business entity. It's deeply enriched into every business that you can think of, okay, and it is making billions of dollars every year, okay. And cloud, actually, if you look at it, there are various models of cloud. Maybe you must understand that as well. There are private clouds, there are public clouds, there is a hybrid cloud concept, which is mixture of both private and public, right? And there are various services are also which is available in cloud, okay. There is like people like IBM and all, we provide hardware as a service, okay, infrastructure, which is called infrastructure as a service. There are software industry organizations like Microsoft and Oracle, they provide software as a service, okay, to organizations. Cloud as a service is also available now, like Amazon provides that, and IBM provides that. So these are all different models of engagement of cloud, okay. This is a big ball game, Internet of Things, okay. This is what we were talking about, sensors, right? Okay. So sensors now playing role in every industry that you can think of. That's why I brought in this slide. Every industry, every application you can think of, now IoT is playing a role now, which is Internet of Things, okay. There was also a play by the governments of India, that state governments and central government, of bringing out 100 smart cities in India, okay, some time back. So that means a smarter city is not just smart people walking around, right? It's all about your infrastructure being smart, your buildings being smart, your traffic regulation, your water management, your electricity management. All of these are going to be in hand, working in tandem, okay? So that people as population is enjoying the benefits. IoT again is for agriculture. AI and IoT plays a major role in agriculture industry also. I gave you an example of tea gardens as well. Mainframe technology, right? I started this session with IBM playing a role in every industry that you can think of, right? And mainframe is our backbone. It's a server which is known for its strengths, stamina and strength and power, okay? Mainframes, in fact, I have seen a mainframe which was actually started in 1952. Okay, it was just started and then it's running non-stop. It has not shut down. It has not crashed. For the last 50, 60 years, it was just running. Okay, and mainframe is such a big influencer for your every other industry that you can think of. Mainframe plays a role, including your apps which are there in your mobile phones. They are running on mainframe servers. Okay, so mainframe is a big booty. If you are looking at some business, setting up some business for your enterprises, you should look at mainframe, because that's where you can invest less and the returns are more there. Okay, and there are various levels of technology which are there, which is used. The operating system itself is different for mainframe. Okay, and there are people who can get skilled on operating system. There are people who can get skilled on the database of mainframe, or even for application development, COBOL, X programming. These are all, mainframe is different completely. Okay, so you can see that 55% of all enterprise applications require a mainframe server. 55% worldwide. Okay, 80% of world's corporate data currently resides on mainframe servers. 80% of all corporates can think of. Okay, 91% of CIOs say that their customer-facing applications are currently running on a mainframe server. Okay, so that's how important mainframe is. Cyber security is another big area. Okay, it cannot be enough said about how important cyber security is all about, right? For organizations, all your applications, data, your systems, everything, unless it is protected, your business can doom the next day. Okay, so cyber security and forensics, that's the next level of data. So that is also very important. And then what the last thing I would like to comment upon is, one is the learning part. Okay, you learn every semester after semester. You'll be learning courses here. You will also be, I've told you about technologies. At least learn one technology in your 4 years of graduation. Pursue one technology and learn that. The third most important thing is do projects. Take up one project out of one of the industry that is listed here, or maybe other industries also that you can think of. Do one project on that technology. The technology that you've learned, apply that into one of the projects. That will be the ultimate benefit that you will get for your careers. Okay, you must invest your time on application, your applied skills. Okay, there is no nothing which can come close to that. Okay, if you have applied your skills on a project, that will be the best thing to happen. Okay, so with that, these are some of the samples. I can give you more samples on this: healthcare application, pharma applications, right? So here I will take a pause. Any questions that you have, you can raise it with me. Anybody? Any questions? Did you learn something here today? Was it useful? Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. You have been a great audience. First of all, let me applaud that for you, because your responses were amazing. I just loved the session. So thank you so much for this thing. And then again, it's an honor to come back and talk to you, all of you. And at any point in time, if you have anything, I'm always available. So with the faculty here and everybody, so we'll also do that. All the very best to each one of you. Do well in your careers. Okay, do it for yourself. Do it for your parents. Okay, they have put in the best for you, right? So the best should happen to all of you. Okay, God bless. Take care. Bye bye.